Now that we understood what AWS is, what serverless computing actually means, and now that we built our first simple API, let's see what else this course has to offer for you. We're pretty much done getting started. In the next module, we'll have a look at the core serverless services. So which AWS services are absolutely required when building a serverless application, and of course we will cover these services throughout the course then. Well, you basically get a sneak peek right now because in the module after this module where I introduce you to these services, we'll have a look at the first two important ones, Lambda and API Gateway. You will learn how these two services allow you to run your business logic and set up the general serverless API you're building. And of course, we will already start building our course project here. Now, after having this basic API and basic business logic set up, it's time to add data storage to it, because of course in most apps you want to store some data in a database, and you can easily do this with DynamoDB, another core service which we'll have a look at in this module. We get data stored and we got business logic, but of course typically you also want to have your users, or you want to have users in the first place, and you want them to be able to authenticate. We'll have a look at authentication thereafter, see how AWS Cognito is a service which helps us with that, and how we can therefore also protect our API endpoints against unauthenticated access. Well, thereafter, we'll have a look at how we can actually deliver a front-end web application. The API will be finished at this point, but what if we have a web app? We also need to serve this, and it would be a shame if we all of a sudden would need to manage servers for the front-end app now that our powerful API doesn't need any server-side management. Thankfully, we can also host a web app in a serverless manner, and in this module we'll have a look at how we can do this with AWS S3, CloudFront and Route 53, how we can also optimize that hosting, and how we can assign our own domain. After this, it's time to leave the basics, at least for an outlook. This course, of course, is about introducing you to serverless development, hence the course title. So we won't dive deeply into advanced concepts, but I also don't want you to leave this course without knowing where to go next and which other things you should dive into after finishing this course. Therefore, in this module, I will guide you where to look next and which steps make sense as the next steps. And then I'll be happy to round this course up since you will have learned a lot. In all these modules, you will have learned how to build powerful serverless applications. You will actually have built one, including a front-end application which is served running your own domain. And you will have a very solid understanding about what serverless computing is, how it works, how these services involved in it work, and how to learn more which next steps you should take. I'm really looking forward to going through all that content with you, so let's start.